Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze is sponsored by Dork Publishing, expanding minds through fantasy since 2018. Learn more at the Dork Publishing website, www.dorcpublishing.com.
Welcome back to Desertwood Days, and today we have a fabulous guest for you. We have one of Arizona's longtime hairstylists, Mr. Jorge Ramirez. Hello there.
Hey, all right.
I thought maybe they had kept you back there, snagged you or something.
I was going to pick up something, but I said I better not.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us here
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Mr. Jorge Ramirez.
Yeah.
How long have you been a hairstylist?
Oh my God, I've been doing hair since 1965, so that's 57 years.
Wow.
Still going strong and still working and enjoying it. I love going to work every day, taking care of my clients. The only problem is the older I get, the older they get, and they were usually older than me, so a lot of them passing away or going to assisted living or, but...
Well,
I
I'm
still
sure,
keep
because
it.
you came here looking fabulous today with that hair, so I'm sure you're keeping them looking fabulous.
Always. That's my purpose in life. Take care of my clients. I'm always there for them. Even on my days off, I'll go in if somebody says, hey, I'm going out of town or something, and I need it done before I go. So I usually take care of them and come in, and, they appreciate that. People are good. As long as you treat people good, they treat you good. And I know my clients definitely treat me good,
You know what? I feel like I'm sitting here on one of the Godfather scenes or something like that.
Yo, Vito. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Jorge, are you a native of Arizona?
No, I'm from New York. Originally lived in Spanish Harlem, Manhattan, and grew up there for a while. Then my family moved to the Bronx.
Okay.
And it was funny because being of Puerto Rican descent, I lived in an Italian neighborhood. So everybody thought I was Italian. Yo, hey, Joey, what's going on, And that's just, and everybody does think I'm Italian a lot of times, But no, I'm far from it,
You're a hairstyle. Are you an actor also?
I should have been.
You should have been.
I know it. I
We
know
know a couple of roles for you.
I can handle that. I can handle that.
So you're from...
Life is acting.
Yeah, that is true.
Working at my job, hairdressing, you have to be an actor of some sort.
Right.
You have to keep your game on all the time.
Right.
And not only that, but you have to know so many different topics.
Right.
That you have to keep involved with your client and
Right.
what they're into, I get into.
That is
So
true. So you're acting all day long.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
And it's life. So you were brought up in New York. What was it that brought you to Arizona?
Well, I wanted to get my kids out of New York City, New York itself. Growing up in the ghetto, I just wanted to do something better, as my father did for me when I was like maybe 11, 12 years old. We lived in the Bronx, and he goes out 40, 50 miles out of New York City up on the Hudson River.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are living in this $3,500 house that he bought with one bathroom. But the view from that house was spectacular because we lived right on the Hudson River.
Wow.
So every morning I would get up, the sunrise would be there in my window. And I says, hey, this is some darn good living.
Yes, I bet it was.
And hey, and not only that, but I got to get off the streets, gang fights, this, that, and ended up playing baseball, wrestling. I got into sports, played in one of the first New York World Series, Little League World Series.
Wonderful.
In 1956. And
well, you did all those things. What was it that got you into being a hairstylist?
It's funny. When I was in the military, I was in the Navy. I was a medic. I was going to be a nurse. and when I got out, but ended up becoming a hairdresser instead.
Hmm.
I was cutting hair on the base. I was
Oh,
doing some of the
okay.
guys, and then my wife said, "Why don't you become a hairdresser?" I said, "That's for gay guys." At that time, I mean, there weren't too many straight guys in the '60s doing hair.
Oh,
So I ended up becoming a hairstylist, and I enjoyed it, and did some shows, in New York, and owned a couple of hair salons in New York. And so finally I said, I got to get my kids out of New York. So
yes.
come up to Arizona. And one time I came in a motorhome to visit a client and told her, "I'm coming to give you a haircut." "Yeah, you're so full of doo-doo. I said, "No, I'm coming." And I called her and I said, "Hey, I'm here. I'm coming to give you a haircut."
So, was there anyone prior to you doing hair in the military that inspired you to do hair, or you just?
My first wife,
Oh,
God rest her soul, she passed in '96. But she said, she said, "Here, bleach my hair." I'd be bleaching her
oh,
hair, and she'd tell me what to do because her girlfriend was a hairstylist.
okay,
So I started picking up on it, and she says, "Go to
okay.
hairdressing school." I said, "You know what? I'll go on the GI Bill." And that's how I got to go to school and doing hair. And what's funny is this is crazy, was that the first salon I worked at was in a town called Spring Valley, New York,
Uh-huh.
and it was
I've
called
been there.
Michelle Dial was the salon I worked in for a friend of mine who I later became partners with, and I ended up across the street from the salon was a restaurant called Paisanos.
Mm.
Come to find out, come out here to Arizona, guess who it is? The Maggiore family, who own I don't know how many Italian restaurants, Sicilian Butcher, Hash Kitchen, all of these places. And I went to visit him. I says, "Hey, man, I used to." He treated me to so many cannolis, and unbelievable. Yeah, so it's nice to see people that you knew back there and realize that, hey, they're coming out here to Arizona. There must be something to it.
Right.
That's how I ended up
So
here.
you got out here to Arizona, and that was in
77.
77.
Yeah.
Times were much more different then.
Oh,
So coming out here as a man, being a hairstylist,
Yeah.
how was that for you back in that day?
easy. It
Was
was
it
easy. Oh,
easy?
yeah. I started work at Elizabeth Arden at the Biltmore.
Okay.
Worked there for about a year or so.
Okay.
Then went to Scottsdale.
Immediately doing hair?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I
Okay.
started doing hair at Elizabeth Arden. Worked there for
Okay.
about a year and a half.
Did you have a specialty?
Do I have a specialty?
Did you have a specialty then? I mean, some people, their specialty is coloring, or
No, I did it all.
you did it all?
Yeah. Color, straightening, perms, you name it, foiling, balayage, it's crazy. Balayage is something, it's like now it's like a big deal, balayage. We were doing it back in the 70s, So,
You know what? A lot of these young people don't realize the things that they think is new now. They were
nothing
done
is,
years.
Nothing is new.
Right.
Trust me, nothing is new. I think the only thing that is new is that products have improved.
Yes.
And conditioning products or color products, or less problems with scalps with some of the newer products. So that's basically the difference.
Doing being a hairstylist for so many years, can you tell me one or two things that you've seen that's changed over the years?
Um, you know what? It's all been done before.
Mm.
Whether it's a certain type of haircut, where there's the guillotine cut where they pull all the hair up, cut everything, and it fell down like a shag, something like that. Or I went to Sassoon School out in Beverly Hills back in '78, actually, and and I enjoyed his technique, and that's what I still follow. I still follow the Sassoon method of cutting hair, and I could do it in my sleep. So doing it for so long, like anything,
Right.
everything is repetition. So you're basically involved in your own head trying to create.
That is
And
awesome.
Creating is my idea of living. Without it, you can't go forward.
Right. I like that. Because you know what, we're all creatives in some way.
Yes,
We're all
definitely.
creatives. I want to talk more about from 74 and how you got to right now and some of the things that
Oh.
you've done different or some of the maybe even some of the projects that you may have worked on over the years. So Jorge, we were talking about you being a hairstylist for many years
Yes.
and you've been a hairstylist here in Arizona for many years
Yes.
also. I know you've done you've contributed to a few fashion shows here in
Oh,
the
yeah.
valley. Which is a huge job for at a fashion event. The hairstylist, the makeup artist. I mean,
It's all
those
of it. It's
those roles are very huge.
it's in conjunction with developing a hair show where you're creating behind the scenes
Mhm.
and you're doing the styles and the runway girls are getting ready, dressed, makeup, the whole routine.
Yes,
And
yes.
and it's an excitement that gets your adrenaline going, and
Yeah.
and timing is everything. You
And
got to
that's
get it done.
a huge part of what you do. I mean, it's excitement. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
especially for that client that comes and sits in your chair.
I love
I
them
mean,
all. I
they
love
go
them
and
all.
sit there and then they leave you. You done left them feeling like
Oh
a new
yeah,
person.
definitely.
Totally.
A brand new day. Every time they come into the salon and they leave, it's a brand new day for them. You make them feel good. And they treat you well. All my
Right.
clients treat me so
And you
well.
know what? I'd like to ask this question because, and I talk about my mom quite often. People think when they get to a certain age, I mean, it's okay to want to retire, but it's not time for you just to go to sleep. And some people
Oh
think I'm too old to do this, or
no,
I've always
never.
wanted to be a hairstylist, or I've always wanted to be this, but they think they're too old. What advice would you give to someone with that mindset?
Get out of your mind. Leave your mind behind and get involved in what you feel you want to do inside and create. Create for yourself, create for people that you're involved with, and make people happy.
Yes,
That's
yes.
it. Making people happy. That's my job, making people happy.
I love that. Not only that you're a hairstylist, you also dabble in the music industry also.
Oh my God! You know what? I played in a Grateful Dead tribute band in New York when I was like 25, and played a lot of shows, did a lot of music, and still enjoying it today. Still playing. I joined this vet jam band. I had played with some other bands previously here in the valley, and Almost Blue, which was one of my favorite bands that I played with. Our lead singer was Monique Hughes,
Mm.
and she just got married, and her husband owns the Ginger Monkey down in Chandler, and so she was our vocalist, and she was unbelievable. I miss that band. We've been shut down now about 3 years.
What kind of music?
Everything from Etta James to God, you name it. Etta James. I'm at a loss at words for so many things that we played.
Right.
Bill Withers,
Okay.
you name it. All soul music, rock music.
I was
a little
just checking out how
diversity.
cool you are. Got your earring on over there.
You know what? It's funny. It's funny. I got this earring. I mean, before it was fashionable. I mean, I gonna be 80 this coming year, and my wife, she retired about a year and a half ago. She's been nursing. She was nursing for 50 years.
Aw.
She just retired, and I say, how can you just sit around? And I said, you should get a hobby. And you know what she tells me? I have a hobby. I said, what's that? She says, life. So life is her hobby.
You're a hairstylist, but I'm looking. You have very nice skin, and you just said you're 80.
I'll be 80.
You'll
yeah.
be 80. Is there a certain regimen you use for your skin?
You know what? That's the funny thing. I think being of Puerto Rican descent, and I have very oily skin,
Oh, okay.
and that's what.
I understand that.
And you as well.
Yes, I understand that.
People of color, we have the oils
Yes.
that other people don't have, and my wife says, you have such nice skin. I don't even. The only time I wash my face is basically when I take a shower. I mean, shower every day.
Ladies, we don't do that. Okay.
But I don't wash my face with soap.
Oh.
I leave it natural. I don't use anything on it, and I feel that's how You know?
So currently, are you working in a salon?
Oh yeah, I work at a lash salon
Okay.
for the past year, and which is in Scottsdale, right across from the Handlebar J,
Okay.
right on 71st Place.
So the lash bar, they have hairstylists.
Yeah, there's three of us doing hair in there,
Oh,
and then we have an esthetician and lash tech, and it's funny because one of my granddaughters has a lash business in Scottsdale that
Oh.
she's been doing lashes, and she also teaches classes for lash extensions and stuff.
okay.
So she's
Okay.
talented.
So we're you're close. You're still young. You're 80, 80 years young almost.
80 years, yeah.
So where do you see yourself in about 5 years?
I'm basically transitioning into doing my artwork, which I've been predominantly doing a lot of the last 2-3 years now. And I mean, I've always done artwork. I've been since I was a kid. I've illustrated a medical book on congestive heart failure,
Oh, okay.
and I was complimented in the sense that I had to revise some of Frank Netter's artwork, who is like the godfather of medical illustrating,
Oh, okay.
and he's had so many books out. And so when I revised his artwork,
Mhm.
I had to get an okay from him. And thank God, all my work was passable. Where he said, it can be printed.
Oh, okay. So where is this book found?
Uh, God, it came back out in the '80s. I mean, I
Oh.
still have copies, but
Oh,
you know,
okay.
actually, it's CV Mosby is the company that
Oh.
I did the artwork for, and it was for nursing education.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Interesting. So have you done any more art of that?
not medical illustrating, but I've been just doing my own artwork for my own self,
Uh-huh.
or commission work for clients,
Okay.
and
See, the hairstylist does more, not just being a hairstylist. You're
Oh.
creating in other areas
always,
also.
always gotta.
Yeah.
I don't. You only come around one time,
Right.
so do it all. Do it all. I wouldn't mind trying acting, actually.
You
'Cause,
should.
Yeah.
You should. I totally agree with that. I could just see you in one of those films out there. I totally could.
Yeah. My wife always says I'm animated. But yeah, I've owned salons as well. I've owned salons here in Scottsdale and New York also. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a salon owner also. See,
yeah.
that's sometimes you peel that onion, you find out more. I mean, not just a hairstylist, you were a salon owner as well.
Yeah, for many years. Many years. I owned salons for about 27 years.
Okay.
And I remarried in 95. And so after that, I just said, I don't want to own anymore. I don't want to be a babysitter. Because when you own, you're a babysitter. Because, I'll tell you,
You're
doing
responsible.
hair,
You're responsible
doing
for
hair
everything.
for 57 years, I've only missed 3 days in 57 years. Thank God I'm healthy, which is the one thing. But
I
stop.
want you to do one more thing. You've been in this industry for so long.
Yes.
What advice would you give to a young person that's wanting to get into this industry?
Just be involved, get the education, work with the right people. Being with the right people. I mean, I had worked with people from Saks Fifth Avenue, Bendell's in New York. I was working on wigs in any of Italy in Manhattan, and it's funny because most of the women that were knitting the pieces and stuff were all Puerto Rican anyway. So I could talk with them. So it made it easy, and I learned from them, and it's always an ongoing process of education, and that's how I feel about hairdressing. It's you never learn it all.
That's about anything in life. It's ongoing.
Yeah,
We're learning every day. The moment we walk outside our door.
Exactly. Every day.
Where can our audience find you?
I'm at Lash, and 10620 North 71st Place.
Okay.
And
Okay, social
and it's
media.
easy to find because we have two double doors which are lime green. You can't, and we're across from Handlebar J.
Okay. Are you
So
on social media? Do you have a Instagram account or anything?
I have Instagram, but right now also on Facebook I have a Georgia Art, which is I have a lot of my art pieces,
Okay.
and at the present time I'm having a new website built as we speak.
Okay.
So because now I'm getting more into my artwork
Okay.
and then my hair. So I'm just
Well,
coming in and enjoying myself, and everybody says, Giorgio, when I go in, I liven up the place. Everybody, I have a friend I work with, and it's funny. He'd probably hate it if I said, I call him Stealth, so he's so quiet. He's Stealth, and his name is Frank, and I've been working with him for 15, 16 years now,
wow.
and he's like a brother to me. He's Mexicano, and being of Latin descent, we jive together and we just enjoy each other and have a
That's
good
awesome.
time. And
It was such a pleasure having you here
Oh.
with us today.
awesome,
Thank you.
great time.
And thank you for joining us here today on Desertwood Days, and we'll catch you next time. Desertwood Days.